This week, we discuss ocean science misinformation with the University of Washington's Sustainable Fisheries editor, Max Motzler, to understand how myths like having no more fish by 2048 were able to gain so much traction. The goal of most research institutes and government organizations like the FAO is to provide accurate information to the general public. Unfortunately, our click-driven media world prioritizes high-impact headlines rather than factual, evidence-based science that might not get the same reaction. Motzler explains his frustrations of the rise of fake news within the seafood industry and why the importance of accurate information is so crucial.
So the ones that I've seen most often in fisheries and seafood is the one that started 15 years ago with that all fish would be gone by 2048. And that was just a really small part of a really important paper. So that paper was really good and it was really important, but it's just totally been lost by this one little thing that they kind of just threw into the paper. But then in the press release, the university press release, touted it as this major finding. A lot of science journalists and journalism in general is written off press releases. So journalists, news and organizations really picked up on it because it was highlighted in the press release. To this day, it is still the most common myth that I see is that there will not be any fish in the ocean by the year 2048. Not true at all. Not even close. A lot of the authors who are on that original paper have distanced themselves from it. It's they've published other papers that directly contradict or show the updated science. Another big one that I see a lot is people conflating overexploited and fully exploited. So the big famous one was that if you looked at FAO's fisheries statistics, right now it's 34% of fisheries are overfished. About 60% are fully fished, which means maximally sustainably fished. So those are sustainable stocks. But people would combine them into saying something like 94% of all fisheries are either fully exploited or overexploited. And it's just taking the connotation of those words and to make the headline sound urgent and serious, when most of the public doesn't know what those doesn't know that those terms are tied to scientific definitions. That's a real problem. A few years ago, FAO decided to change the terminology because they it was frustrating for them. They're the scientific organization that puts out this piece and everyone is misconstruing it, and so they got really frustrated and they've actually stopped using those terms.
We are proud and excited for Sinbad Brands to introduce a premier retail skin pack line. Sinbad Platinum Ultra is a retail-ready, caught in America, packaged in America, and sold in America, breathable skin pack line. Available in easy-to-cook, flavored and unflavored varieties ranging from prized Bristle Bay Alaskan sockeye to cod, haddock, pollock, sole, and Atlantic salmon. Call our retail specialist today to discuss this exciting opportunity.
Motzler recently disputed some global bycatch statistics released from an Oceana report titled Wasted Catch: Unsolved Problems in the U.S. Fisheries, which claimed that the global bycatch may amount to 40% of all catch, or 63 billion pounds per year. After reaching out to the scientists at Oceana, claiming that this information was inaccurate and that he was going to address it publicly, they immediately followed by issuing a correction on every page.
I think I blame the internet mostly, and that there are so many places to get information. There's so many options for content. The content creators who were able to create the right headline, who were able to hack into the emotional aspect of information, were able to grow, and they just become more and more powerful with social media. And that's been very frustrating as a member of a democracy. Where good information is necessary for a functioning democracy. And I see that in fisheries and seafood with all the different myths and common misconceptions that seep into media. There really isn't anyone to blame at all. It's just the entire funding model of everything is just tied to incentives. NGOs and people who do research in big organizations, they're incentivized to raise funds so they all have jobs and so they can continue to do good work and research and the things that they do. And one of the things that funders and the people who control all the money really like is they like newsworthiness, they like headlines. So it's sort of like they're like in order to keep their jobs and keep doing the research, they're incentivized to make splashy headlines with research claims and that sort of a thing. And who can blame them? Like, I don't blame them at all.
Mosler explains that the main issue here is that we need to build stronger relationships between science and communication. There is no one clear way to solve these issues, as they are ingrained into our society, but we as members of the industry can start by working harder to hold one another accountable. This can be done by utilizing non-for-profit journalism, like ProPublica, The Intercept, Sustainable Fisheries, and of course, the 3-Minute Market Insight, organizations that don't run their publications off of advertisements. If we can repair this disconnect, the information on which decisions are made can be more reliable, while also properly acknowledging the actual work done by these scientists. If you are not already, be sure to subscribe to our 3-Minute Market Insight using the sign-up form below to support our role in the world of non-for-profit journalism. Thank you for joining me for the Tradex Foods 3-Minute Market Insight. This has been Tasha Cadence, reminding you to stay safe, buy smart, and eat more seafood.